Hey, welcome back to Squatch TV. On this episode, we're going to go over some emergency kits. Some ideas, just some thoughts in case of...
Emergency!
In case of emergency,
Yeah.
right? In case
Run!
of
The sky is falling!
a big snow, right?
Yeah.
An earthquake, a volcano,
Terrorist.
terrorists.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff can happen that you'll need some emergency supplies,
Ate
right?
too much Christmas candy.
Yes, that's definitely part of the emergency. So we got some stuff out that we're going to show you. We got a pretty good size list going here for a car kit. But it's amazing how much of this stuff you can get into a fairly small crate or bag
Yeah.
and just throw it in the back of your car.
And these are all just ideas, and you
Yeah.
build your own.
Yeah, you absolutely build your own. Now you can buy pretty cool kits on Amazon for like 190 bucks. But they're not that cool. Wouldn't
Yeah.
you rather do it yourself and have a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
And I'm sure that I missed some stuff. I tried to put down some different stuff, but hey, before we get carried away here, I'm drinking this Heineken
And I said, why is yours?
non-alcoholic beer. Let's set them down on there.
Here, I'll put mine in front of yours so it looks
Now,
so much
doesn't
bigger.
that look odd? All of a sudden, my beer looks pretty darn small.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's what?
I said, why do you have a little baby beer there? Which it's non-alcoholic. This Pacifico.
Yeah.
But you put them right side by side.
And this is, the real beer's 12 ounces. And this one is 11.2.
And being non-alcoholic, you probably pay more for it too, right?
For a 6-pack, it's like $7.
Woo-wee!
Is that more than you pay?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking is they keep that 0.8 ounce out of there so you don't get tipsy.
Yeah, that's your
it's
non-alcoholic part.
Non-alcoholic. If I had that extra 0.8, I might get a rip going, right?
Yeah.
Damn it. They're always figuring out a way
they
to
figured,
get me.
yeah. And here, I was thinking it was all because they're ripping you off.
Okay, we got done with that. So let's just I'm just going to kind of go down the list, and Mr. H will interrupt me, or I'll interrupt me, and we can talk about it. But so the first 4 or 5 things are just, you got to have this in your car, right? Spare tire. Not everybody has a spare tire in their rig.
And does people know how to use it, know how to get to it, know how to...
You need to know how to change your tire. And you need to have the spare. So somebody in my family that might have a big red truck that he takes hunting every year, he doesn't have a spare under his bed because it snapped off years ago.
Were we not just planning on just abandoning your truck and hitchhiking back?
Really? What were we hitchhiked back with the banjos? So really,
We'll figure that out.
Really though, you need to have a spare tire and a lug wrench, preferably a star wrench, because you change your cars, right? Mark just got a new truck a year ago, and it might have different lug nuts on it than his old truck. So if you got a good star wrench, that goes a long way. So a spare tire, a lug wrench, preferably a star wrench, and a jack, right?
Yeah.
Can't change the tire without a jack, at least not very easily. There are ways, but probably not if you're a 5'6", 100 and nothing chick out doing nothing.
Right.
Nothing against the chicks, just saying. If you had 4x4s and such, you could figure out a way to get the wheel off. Jumper cables. Every car should have jumper cables in them. We all know this isn't the case, right?
Now, my 96 Jeep Wrangler, you're not supposed to jump those. It'll burn the brain out, and I did that.
You burned the brain out?
Yeah, I had to put a new computer in it.
How are you supposed to?
You're supposed to take the battery off, charge it, and I mean, it was ridiculous. My
is
new
ridiculous.
Jeep, my 2011, you can jump it
Yeah.
now. But it was like a $500 mistake.
Yeah.
So know your car, read up on it, jumping it.
Yeah, definitely. So I've been kind of thrown into that know your car thing the last few days. I asked about tire change for front wheel drive vehicles. And I had a couple people comment, hey, you better make sure that your car can use, I guess there's some front wheel drive cars that say, no chains on this car. There's not enough room or.
Yeah.
So
you just got to jack the toaster up a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Sweet.
So other than that, so you got your jumper cables. What I should have said first was have a plan. Under any circumstances, if you have a house fire, if you live down in the valley in Sylvania and you got a flood, if a volcano goes off, if a terrorist attacks somewhere, earthquake, whatever. Have some sort of plan.
Have you talked to your wife, kids, and family?
Yes. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
If you all sleep on the second floor and the downstairs is burning, how are you getting out of the house?
Yeah.
Like my kid, my kid just went back to college tonight, and her and her boyfriend have their apartment over there in Bremerton. Well, they're on the second floor. And so how are you going to get out, Em? And she says, well, I'm going to jump out the window. I said, well, that's a pretty good plan. As long as it's not too far. If it's too far, then you might invest in, they have some pretty cheap safety ladders, emergency ladders that you can attach, and you can get out that way. But just talk about it. Just take 15 minutes out of a Sunday or whatever and talk with your family, talk with your kids, talk with your folks, because what may be happening here, maybe mom that lives a couple of states over is fine, but you're gonna want to be in contact or at least know what some sort of plan is, right? A plan's a good idea. So other things in the car kit should be a small tool kit with some wrenches, screwdrivers, a little socket set, just a basic one, a little electrical tape.
And that goes back to knowing your car too. Does it take Torx stuff or is it Phillips?
Yes.
Just by looking around your car, do your clamps that are on your hoses, are they Phillips, they straight, things like that? Know your car.
Yeah, things definitely change. And people even, I know people that put in their emergency kit in their car, they put an extra fan belt. I've known people with older cars that would put in a hose or two into a kit.
Yeah.
But it might be a bit much for me, but if you lived in a different place, like you always watch them TV shows about them folks in Australia, that live 300 miles from town to town and it's nothing but barren desert.
Right.
You got to have your stuff together, right?
Right.
Okay, so little toolkit. And here it's going to go, so a compass, a map, or an atlas, any of those three would help. I know everybody's got their phone, but the phone ain't always going to work, right?
Yeah, it may not.
So, and not everybody knows that the sun sets in the west and it rises in the east and the North Star and all that stuff to try to navigate. You should kind of know some of that stuff. You learn it in school.
Know your surroundings too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it wouldn't hurt to have a compass. A lot of walking sticks have compasses on them. A lot of emergency kits have compasses on them.
And learn how to use it too.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. So I'll just keep going down here. Some paracord, right? Very cheap, very strong. And you can, double, triple, quadruple it up. And if you have enough paracord, you could tow a rig out of a stuck position with paracord.
Yeah.
This stuff's incredibly strong.
In an emergency situation to keep yourself dry, to use a tarp or something.
Absolutely.
Paracord's essential.
Sure, you bet. So paracord's a big one, rope, and with that goes a good knife. You got to have a decent knife, if not more than one knife.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to see people with a pocket knife and a multi-tool. See, there's a good pocket knife. It'll get done what you need done for the most part. But you can also have a nice pocket tool.
Yeah.
With, it's just even though you'll have a tool kit, it's just that one extra little piece of security that if, you go and raid the tool kit sometime and don't put it back in your emergency pack, you still have a way to do little somethings, right? So along that same line with the knife, a cheap knife sharpener, right? You got the coarse on one side and the fine, we used to call these croc sticks. What do you call these? Do you know?
A croc stick?
We've always called them croc sticks. You too?
No, but I just egging you on. I mean, boosting your confidence.
Thanks. You Jackass. But a little knife sharpener, they're like $3 or $4.
Yeah.
You know, you can find them for scissors and kitchen knives. I mean, I got bunches of them.
Yeah.
So, and they work really good. You can bring an edge back pretty fast. It ain't going to be an awesome edge, but it'll get you through whatever you're trying to get through.
Yeah.
Okay, so rope, knife, duct tape. Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You can do a million things with it.
Yep.
Right? If you want to tie up that Mr. H and get him to shut up, duct tape. That's the way to do it. Okay, flashlight. Now, the important thing about a flashlight, I brought 3 out just to show you 3. Here's a Nebo that has a magnetic bottom on it, right? It's got a hanger on it, which is cool. It has a face light, right?
Ooh, bright light.
And then it has a pointer light.
Cool.
And it has a oh shit light. Oh, excuse my language.
Yeah.
Right?
Put on your car.
Put on your car in case you're broke down or whatever. This is you're gonna be able to see that in the dark and the rain and the fog, that kind of thing. So another light I brought out was this little Nebo, what are these, crickets or something? Crickets. And this is pretty cool. It's got a regular light, an outside light, and then a red light.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, maybe not.
No flash.
Yeah, that's it.
No
but
strobe.
It also, so the nice thing about that.
Magnetic.
Yeah,
again.
It's magnetic, so that's super awesome. You can just put it on. You can also twist it so it's a regular size flashlight. It's got a belt clip on it. It's a great little light, right?
Yeah, one of my favorites.
One more is this little, I don't even remember. I think Mark gave me this for free 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I painted it once, so it looks just hammered, right? It's just a little bright light. It uses those CR123 battery.
Yeah, that's the only drawback on that.
Yes, that's the only drawback on this one. These 2 lights use regular batteries, and that gets me to my next point. Although most lights now are rechargeable, right? But when the shit hits the fan, you may not have the access to be recharging flashlights. If you have a power pack, which should be in your bug out kit or your emergency kit, you're probably going to save this for your cell phone, right? Because that's the chance of getting help somewhere.
Right.
But so if you're going to pack lights, I think it's a good suggestion, and maybe Mr. H disagrees. I think it's a good suggestion to pack regular battery-powered lights and extra batteries.
Yeah. And, one thing we were talking about earlier, too, is one of those little cool solar chargers, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have some they're almost the size of a cell phone, and you can just plug them in, and they charge your flashlight or phone or whatever.
Yeah, and they work good. Erin got me one last Christmas.
And they're pretty cheap, too.
Yeah, the one she got me, it's about the size of a napkin. Actually, it's about the size of this piece of paper here, right? But it folds 3 times.
Oh, wow.
So it comes out to where it's about that wide, and it can plug in, and it sucks up the sun. Also, in our hunting trailer, I have a big solar thing that hooks up to the house batteries on the hunting trailer.
Because we got to watch movies.
Oh, yeah. We can't go hunting without watching movies and little Martha Stewart in the morning to figure out what we're having for dinner that night, right?
Right.
So anyway, that's a good idea there. So that goes over your flashlights, your batteries. Along the same lines, a phone charger. Have an extra phone charger. I know they're expensive, but you know how many we go through, right? What do you buy? Another phone charger every 6-8 weeks, it seems. I'm always burning through those phone chargers, the cords, you know? A headlight. That's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Super handy because it frees your hands. So if you're doing something, lighting a fire or whatever, you can still have light. Okay, batteries, phone charger, gloves, a hat, and socks. Those are very important things.
Gotta have good socks.
Your fingers, your toes, and your head need to stay warm. So wool. Wool is pretty good stuff for that. Hand and foot warmers. In fact, I pulled these out of my truck side door. So hand and foot warmers are nice to have. They don't last forever, but in a pinch, you'll be happy you got them.
Yeah.
and they don't cost nothing, and they don't take up much room. Matches, comma, a lighter, comma, or some sort of fire starter. In my bug out bag or my hunting backpack, I have all three. Waterproof matches, I have multiple lighters, and I have a magnesium fire stick. And those things work awesome. The magnesium fire stick, it lasts you for as long as you want to be alive in the woods, trust me.
Yeah.
So those are good things. Speaking on the thing of snow problems, right? Ice melt or kitty litter. Doesn't hurt to have a little, I tried to remember every winter to put a little coffee can of ice melt in everybody's car. So if it happens, at least you got something you can try to get your way out. A shovel. So in my truck, I put a regular size shovel and a regular size rake in the back of my truck and just leave it in there for the winter. But if you were wanting to do something in your car, because when you're trying to dig something out and you don't have any kind of digging device, it sucks.
Yeah.
So anything is better than nothing. So, you know, it just so happens I know this store called SOG, and they have these great little shovels, right?
That's awesome.
Now, it's small, right? It's tiny. My hand's bigger than that, but I'm telling you, if you ever tried to dig a 2-foot hole with a stick.
Or dig your tire out.
With a stick.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. This works great. Also, it's kind of a bonus. It has a little bit of a saw on one edge. So if you absolutely had to cut something down, while it would take a while,
yeah,
it would do it. It would do it. So that's something good to put in, right? How do you fold this thing? Do you know?
I don't know.
What did I do? Oh, I'll figure that out later. Okay. Okay, we got that. Food. Got to have a little bit of food in your to-go pack, your emergency pack. Something like jerky, peanuts, trail mix, bars, you know, like power bars or whatever.
That's probably the best for me. You know, thinking it fills a hole, fills a void, and
it's got all the stuff you need in it. You know, as far as proteins and fats and all that stuff. Yeah. So and they don't take up much room, and they're lightweight.
And they last for a long time.
Absolutely. So when we go hunting, you know, this is my hunting backpack, and when we break camp, I throw a couple of bars in there and then zip it up. That way I know there's a couple of bottles of water in there too.
Yeah.
And I just leave them in there until next year. So if I ever grab that pack and I need it, I got a little bit of something in there.
I don't know if on your list, speaking of water, one of those safety straws.
Ooh, that isn't on my list.
I always throw one of those in my packs just because, you know, you never know when you run out of water, you're lost or you're...
And you got to drink from the creek.
You got to drink from the creek.
Yeah.
Or a mud puddle.
Yeah.
You know,
you don't want beaver fever.
Yeah.
You don't want any of that stuff.
No.
You don't want what the creek's got to offer.
Right.
Even though... I mean, growing up, didn't you drink from the creek all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Sort of
hose and
garden hose.
Yeah. Mud puddle or whatever.
Yeah. That's terrible.
That turned out okay.
Yeah, I think so. I just got a couple of ticks.
Or this big lump right here. But anyway.
Yeah, so that was my next one, was actually water or Gatorade, something like that. So what do they say? Don't they say a gallon per person per day?
Oh, that's probably about right, yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of water.
Yeah.
You know, I don't expect you to carry around 10 gallons of water in your car, you know, but half a dozen bottles?
I think a law that's going into California right now is 55 gallons a day per person. That's it. Showers.
That's for everything. Shower, washing
machines, everything, yep.
There are going to be a lot of brown lawns in California.
Or no lawns.
And some dirty mother.
Yeah. Yep.
So, okay. Medications. I don't know what you got, but I know what I got. I got some blood pressure problems, so it would be helpful to have some blood pressure medicine. I have a lot of pain problems, so it would be helpful to have Advil, that kind of thing. Benadryl for allergic reactions, especially if you're going to be trekking through the woods or something. You never know what you might brush up against.
Yeah.
Benadryl could go a long way. For those people, there's a lot of people with diabetes that need insulin, you know. Yeah. And I know that shit's crazy expensive, but if there's some way you can
And I don't think it lasts, does it?
I think it only lasts a year or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. But medications, if there's something that you need, try to get some extra saved up and put it in a go bag.
Have a plan for that.
Have a plan, absolutely. First aid kit. You need some bandages. You need some basic first aid stuff, you know, a little bit of cream and almost all the kits. You know, I carry one on my backpack here from Lifeline. I'm not going to open it up, I guess, because it's going to be a pain in the ass.
Anyway, it's got your essentials in it.
Yeah, it's got bandages and
Band-Aids, ointments,
yeah,
things like that.
It's good to have a tourniquet, but again, you can make that tourniquet out of your paracord.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you don't know what a tourniquet is and what it's used for, look it up.
Yes, go to Google. Google is your friend on everything we've talked about tonight.
Yep.
You can just look up, go to Google and type in emergency kit, and you'll be amazed at the stuff you find.
Yeah.
Same on YouTube. There's lots of channels. One of the channels I listen to is Wrangler Star. He's a guy down in Oregon, homesteader, and he does all sorts of videos on emergency kits. He has different kits for different emergencies. Pretty cool.
Yeah. The alternative would be to bleed out, and I don't think anybody wants to bleed out.
No. You'll gladly lose a foot or a leg or an arm to dying. You don't want to die, right? So, yeah, learn how to do the tourniquet and when to use it. It ain't like the old days. You use it no matter what, you know. Yeah. But if you're out in it, you may have to. So that's the first aid kit. Yeah. So the only other thing I got on this car kit, and this ain't for everybody, but it's guns and ammo. Now the problem exists that where we live in northern Washington, we tend to go across the border into Canada. If you have a little 22 and a box of ammo and you go across the border into Canada, your ass is going to jail.
Because you're invading their country.
Yeah, so they are not happy about guns in Canada, which is fine. They can do whatever they want in Canada, but just
and what does a Canadian look like when they're running around with
I don't know.
22.
I can never see them running around because they're going so damn fast on the highway. Slow down and get out of our Costco, will ya? Just kidding, Canadians.
Buying up what we love you guys.
But yeah, guns and ammo. So that's maybe, for a lot of people, that's more of a home kit. For people like Mr. H and I, we carry every day, so we always have something on us.
Yeah.
But, you know, it would be super handy to have like a little takedown 22 long rifle and 2 boxes of 22 long rifle ammo. That'd last you. You can do anything. You can kill a deer with a 22 long rifle. You can do about anything you need with that.
And a 6.5 Creedmoor.
And a 6.5 Creedmoor, you know, maybe a 50 belt fed.
Do you want to go over real quick the Les Schwab little pack?
Yes. Yeah, so in the back of Mark's rig, just tonight, I didn't tell him what we were doing or nothing. He had a little blanket, you know, Spartan blanket, the high school, you know, everybody can get these, the local high schools. You can get them at Rite Aids, whatever.
It's a Jeep Wrangler, so we have the top off in the summertime, so blankets are always in the Jeep.
Yes, because our summer here is like 65 degrees.
Right, right.
But a little blanket, great item to have. And this was bought at Les Schwab. I'm sure they were only like 39 bucks, maybe, something like that.
Boy, I think it was cheaper than that even.
Probably.
Because if you look at the quality of the jumper cables and stuff, it's kind of like,
So you got cables.
Yep.
Little roll of duct tape. Some gloves, you know, kind of the same stuff we've gone over already. You got zip ties and a razor knife. You got a poncho and a washcloth. There's some twine in there that you could use as fishing line if need be. That is also a whistle. You got one of those glow sticks, a headlamp, a screwdriver, two-sided screwdriver with a Phillips and a standard flathead. And some papers that say, I'm the new winner of the Jeep Wrangler.
Awesome. Now,
just directions for your headlight.
One thing it does not have in there right at the moment is it used to have a first aid kit in it, so I'm gonna have to check to see where that went.
And again, first aid kits on Amazon, they're very affordable, and you can get them in almost every size. From this, there's a smaller one than this, but then they go bigger, 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 and then they come in backpacks. You can buy kits for like $100 that are good for 4 people, and they come in a backpack.
Yeah.
You know, so it's affordable. I know it's $100, that especially right now after Christmas, that everybody's like, I can't afford to be doing that. Well, at some point, you need to be. Is there anything wrong with being prepared, Mr. H?
Not at all.
No.
What's the saying? If you don't have it, you can't use it, or something like that. Or, you know, Dad would always say, you know, bring your jacket. You're gonna get cold. If you don't have it, you can't put it on.
Yes.
And you know,
if you don't have it, you can't use it when you need it.
Yep. And I think that was instilled in the Boy Scouts in me too. So
yeah, I'm sure it was for sure. But that kind of goes over a little bit of everything, right?
Yep.
Lights and knives and...
Use a little common sense, what works for you, what you think you might need, and start adding to a bag. You don't have to get everything right at the beginning, but, you know.
Yeah, you constantly add to it. Like in the backpack, you know, I got binoculars and multiple bladed knives for cleaning animals. I got bone saws, which also work on tree limbs. Do you have any gum in there? I got gum in there.
Okay.
I got aspirin,
I'm going to come see you
pills.
after the video here.
I got everything in here. Everything.
So that would be considered your bug out bag.
Yes.
For all situations.
Absolutely. So I have a couple of things that if something were to happen and I got to leave the house immediately, there's something that I grab out of my bedroom.
Your wife?
There's something, she's already in the car.
Oh, she's in the car.
I grab something out of the bedroom, I grab something out of the living room, and then I hit this up in the garage on the way out the door, and I feel fairly comfortable that I could live in the woods for a number of months.
Months?
Months.
That's hunting your own food.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, you may not, you know, when you're out in the woods and surviving, it's not necessarily that your deer have to be 3 points on one side.
Right,
you know?
exactly. Or,
if you see a doe, sorry, honey, you're going down.
Yeah.
So there you go. Just some good ideas there. Now, if it was a home kit, yeah, talk about stuff. You know, if there's a fire in the house, if there's a flood, all those kind of things. And with the Iran stuff in the news, people are kind of a little bit on edge. What are we going to do? Well, look, I'll tell you something real plain and simple. If you live around where I'm at here, Camano Island, we got Oak Harbor off this way, we got Bremerton and Coopville off that way, and Fort Lewis a little bit down south. And yeah, if they lob nukes, there ain't nothing you can do anyway. You're done. So just enjoy the light show and call her game, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. But if there is other things going on, like there's some guy blowing up buildings or a shooter, right? If there's a shooter in a mall and you're in the mall, what's your plan? What's your plan in a school? Because, you know, we're not allowed to carry firearms in school. But if you ask me how many times I didn't carry a firearm when I was at an assembly or at a ball game or any of those times with Emmy. I was carrying every single time because that's where it's going to happen. So I hope all you cops that are listening to this, you don't go and test me out here at one of them schools.
Because he was just kidding.
I was just kidding.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, they've taken the law and ended up taking our security away from us. That's why there's so many shootings at non-gun.
Well, the gun-free zones.
The gun-free zones, yeah. It's just crazy. It's asinine. So anyway, yeah. We just wanted to kind of go over it. Be prepared. At least talk about it. You don't have to go out and spend $200 and put everything together this week. But talk about it. Kind of have some kind of plan, you know. And houses like my house, like Mr. H's house, there's a number of other houses. We are safe zones. So it doesn't matter what color your skin is, if you're a woman, if you're a man, if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican. If there's a problem, we're going to help. we want to help people. So we're about helping each other. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Did we go over everything?
I think so. I think they got the gist of it.
Think I'll be able to figure out how to put this back?
I'll do it for you.
Thank God for my moral compass. Good moral compass. Hey, so don't forget, we have leftover prizes. So we're going to be doing a giveaway here in probably about 3 weeks. Yeah. The end of January. Look for maybe a Valentine's Day giveaway. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll do a Valentine's Day giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to donate to a Valentine's Day giveaway,
yeah,
that would be fantastic.
Let her rip. Hey, so there you go. Plan your stuff out. Talk with your family. At least think about it a little bit. Do a little research. And it makes you sleep a little better at night. Knowing you got what you need, just grab it and go, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll see you on the other side. Hey, hope you guys, are you going to post this today, Mr. H?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Hope you guys have a great Sunday night. And as always, and even better tomorrow, Mr. H and Squatch out.